All right. Hey, everybody. It is I, Hope Giselle, Hope Disguised. And I'm coming at you all to have what I feel can possibly be a hard conversation. And the reason that I feel it's a hard conversation is because anytime we talk about intersectionality as it pertains to Black folk, as it pertains to the death of Black people, as it specifically pertains to the death of Black men, I find that there's a lot of pushback from everybody. There's a lot of pushback in the realm of being able to be intersectional in our conversations around the way that Black people are being affected and the way that Black people are dying, and how these things are not only happening to Black cishet men. Today we are all talking about the wrongful death and the wrongful shooting of Ahmaud. Right, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this young man's name correctly, but he was gunned down in broad daylight by a father and a son while he was just running through a Georgia neighborhood. And the people who have done this, right, that are on this video, that are a part of this, that have been filmed and recorded, have still not been arrested. And essentially, at the end of this, we as a Black culture and as Black people understand and know that the sad reality is that in the event that they are even taken to jail, in the event that they are even prosecuted or anything happens to them, that 9 times out of 10, these men are going to get a slap on the wrist and it is going to be forgiven by the reins of government. However, I also want to talk about the disproportionate way that Black trans women are being murdered by people who are usually and oftentimes Black as well. Right? And the disproportionate ways in which Black women are also murdered, right? The same way that the Black community goes ham and goes hard and fights so valiantly for Black men, I am always remiss to not mention, or I'm always remiss to not talk about the mention of the way that Black women are handled in society. And I'm not just talking about trans women. I'm not talking about LGBT issues. I'm talking about the ways in which we are not intersectional in the way that we care. I am talking about the ways in which we are not intersectional about the way that we promote, about the way that we demand democracy, about the way that we demand that these people be put away, about the way that we demand that people do something about these situations. When it comes to people who do not have a penis, identify as heterosexual, and are Black, we do not talk about these issues in the same way, in the same manner. And it is unfair as a community that we cannot band together and have a conversation about the way that all of us are being affected and about the way that all of us are dying. The reason why this is such a problem for me is because as somebody who is Black and as somebody who wants to be there for my Black community and as somebody who wants to stand up for my Black community, but somebody who is also trans, but somebody who is also a woman, but somebody who is also femme, but somebody who also shows up in the world in a way that people find intimidating as well, it is hard to sit back and watch the way that we jump onto social media and we find the killers of Black men and we prosecute them to the 3rd degree, and we make pictures and we make posts and we make videos and everybody and their mama is talking about it, and we got the Tamika Mallory's and the Sean Kings and the DeRay McKessons and Oprah and everybody and their mom who is famous and stuff decides that they want to post about these things. But when Black trans women are being killed rapidly, the only people talking about it is Black trans women. When Black women are being murdered outside of the Sandra Bland case, the only people that are usually talking about it is Black women. I need the reciprocity, Black community. I need the reciprocity, my Black brothers. I need the reciprocity. I need to see it, because it seems like the only time that men who are not particularly activists to begin with want to activate their voice and advocate for something is when the person that died looks like them, is when the person that died has a penis, is when the person that died isn't gay, is when the person that died isn't trans, is when the person that died, you feel like that person is the exemplary version of what a man should be by image because you don't know him, and that is the time where the entire community must gangbang the government, right, for justice. We must gangbang the government for justice during those times. But when the rest of our people are being affected, when people in our community are dying on a regular basis, just as regular as black men are being gunned down by the police, nobody is saying anything about that on the same scale. It's not to say that it's not being discussed. It's not to say that nobody talks about it at all. But it's to say that there's a certain solidarity and there's a certain unwritten code about the way that we as black people must deal with the deaths of black men. But we choose to not address the deaths of other people in the same way. And it makes me go, It makes me go, It makes me ask, where is the love? It makes me ask, where is the intersectionality? It makes me ask, where is the family? Where is the black pride? Where is the black love? Where is all of this black intersectionality that we're asking for? Where are the black men that are supposed to be leading this community to a home, but not having conversations about everything else that is happening? And where is the intersectionality on conversations about the way that the world sees and treats black people, no matter who you are, who you love, and how you show up in the world? You don't have to be a black heterosexual man to experience racism. You do not have to just be a black heterosexual man to be gunned down, stabbed, killed, murdered wrongfully. You don't have, being a black heterosexual man puts you at risk. However, being black in general puts us all at risk. And I am not trying to downplay the death of my black brother. I'm not trying to downplay the deaths of black men. I am not trying to downplay the way in which black men are affected by the world, the community, and the government. What I am saying is that as a whole, as a community, we downplay the deaths of everyone else. And I want to know why. And I want to know why. Why as a black community are we so content serving black men all of the time? As a whole, as a collective, we all go up in flames when something happens to black men. But when black little girls are being raped and pillaged, the R. Kelly situation, there's always an excuse. When black women are popping up missing and being sold into the sex trade, there's always an excuse. When black trans women are being killed rapidly by black men, there's always an excuse. But a black man dies and the world has to stop, like Beyonce just dropped a new album. And it's unfair. Black lives can not only matter when that black life is attached to a black man who is heterosexual. Black lives can not only matter when we know that we're going to get media attention because there is a stigma around killing black men. Black lives can not only matter, and black lives can not only be publicized and talked about upon the death of another black boy, upon the death of another black father. If we care and if we love and if we're here and we stand for black girl magic and black queer magic and black people and trans women are women, and if you black, it don't matter if you gay, trans, or indifferent. If we stand for all of those things, then we need to be outraged at every single death that happens, because that's the only way we're ever going to see progress. The only way we're ever going to see people actually listening to us and actually taking our protests seriously and taking our demands seriously and taking our lives seriously is when they see that we give a shit about every single one of those lives. We care about every single one of those lives. But they see how divided we are. They see that the only time that they can't get away with something is when a black man is attached to it. So they know that our black girls are up for grabs. They know that our black women are up for grabs. They know that black gays, queers, and trans people are up for grabs. They understand that because as a community, that is what we've shown them. And that is what they will continue to do as long as we continue to do the same thing. And so I make this video and I make this message and I put this out there to ask you, to implore you, to employ you, right? To make it your job to be visible on all fronts. To make it your job that all deaths matter to you. That the lives of all black people are important to you. Not just the lives of black men. Because we love y'all. We do. We love y'all. Unconditionally. You can't say we don't. Because even when y'all ain't shit, we love y'all. And we go to bat for y'all. And we raise y'all up. But Ahmaud died. He was shot on camera. He was killed on camera. He was beaten on camera. But how many black trans women have been beaten on camera? How many black women have gone through domestic violence on camera? How many black queer people have been attacked on camera? How many little girls and black children all across America have been mistreated on camera? But the only time that we seem to want to take action is when it's a black man. And that says something about our integrity. That says something about the way that we view our community members. It says something about the hierarchy within our own standing. It says something about us in the way that we view ourselves as women, as caregivers, as family members, as people who are supposed to be on a united front against a government that does not stand like or care for or make anything easy for any of us. It says something about us. It says something about us when black women are dying and being kidnapped and all we do is tweet for a day. It says something about our culture when little kids are being hurt and beaten, and that's being proven on tape, and there's not a single flyer. There's not a single uproar. There's not a single famous person posting that. It says something about our morals. It says something about our character. It says something about the way that we view ourselves and the people in our community. And so I challenge you, right? Some of the things that I said might not have sat well with you. Some of the things that I think might not sit well with you. Some of the deaths you probably still don't care about. But we had a black trans girl yesterday be discovered, stabbed to death. And you know the only difference between her death and Ahmaud's is that at least we know who killed him. And regardless of whether or not they get off and get a slap on the wrist, at least they'll be arrested. At least in the public, in the court of public opinion, those people will have to suffer. They better not ever let anybody find out who they are, where they stay at. They're going to have to live in fear. But you know what happens when a black trans woman is murdered? People don't go looking for real. If they get lucky and find them, great. If they don't, whatever. The court of public opinion says that for some reason, no matter what the reason, she deserved it. And people move on. Do you know what happens when black women suffer abuse? Other black women in a lot of spaces and black men and a lot of shit ton of black people in our community say that she was stupid. Couldn't have been me. I wouldn't have stayed in that situation. She done what I would have done when black children are being beaten. Couldn't have been my child, but it was your next door neighbor. Couldn't have been my child, but it was your student. Couldn't have been my child, but you knew what was happening and you said nothing. But for some reason, there's an inherent need for us to protect black men. And only black men. That is the only time we come together as a community. And that's got to change. That's got to change. So rest in peace to every black man that has been gunned down and wrongfully. Rest in peace to every black man that couldn't breathe. Rest in peace to every black boy that walked to the store to get Skittles in Arizona and didn't make it home. Rest in peace to every black man that felt like he had to run because these people weren't going to listen to his story no matter how valid it was. Rest in peace to all of the black men that feel unsafe in spaces when police ride by. Rest in peace to the black men that feel like they can't do anything but hit the streets to support their family. Rest in peace to all of the black men out there that feel the weight of the world every single day. But rest in peace to the black women that sustain that and are also going through those same feelings. Rest in peace to the black LGBT people who don't feel safe on either side. Rest in peace to the black trans women whose names are often forgotten, whose names are often not even written on their tombstones. Rest in peace to all of those people as well. Because if your activism isn't intersectional, if your care for the deaths of black people stops at heterosexual black men, it is trash. And I hate to say it, but so are you.